appears on your timeline. Spreading love, feeling so divine. Tune in, don't miss a single drop. Unwrap joy till the beat stops.
What's up, Team No T, and welcome back to Unwrap. It is I, Tasha. We are here for day 9 of our 12 days of sitcom Christmas. Today we will be discussing 227, Season 1, Episode 13. This one is called Mary's Christmas. Not Merry Christmas, Mary's Christmas. So, I'm going to put this here to remind us all of what we are going to be looking for in each episode, and let's get into this recap. So we're going to open the episode in Mary's apartment where she is trying to get the house in order because, she let things go. It's really never messy at Mary's house, but, back in 1985, they felt like if it was a piece of lint on the floor, the whole house was messy. That is what she's doing. She's trying to get her house together while she's cooking Lester's favorite meal, which includes cabbage. And then she hears a knock at the door. Behind that knock at the door is Pearl and Rose. They are there because they're supposed to be there to meet the Reverend. And Mary like, what? I ain't know no Reverend was coming over here. And she was like, yeah, Sandra told us all to meet over here with the Reverend because they have to talk about the church getting its lease renewed. And Mary's like, well, this is all news to me. My house is a mess, which is really just like the pillow taken off the couch because she was vacuuming. And then the house is smelling like cabbage. She's embarrassed by that. Baby, people would love to have their house smelling like cabbage right about now. But Mary's embarrassed by the smell because, cabbage it is a little funky, but it tastes so good. Now, the Reverend is there with a little good news, bad news situation. The bad news is the church will not have its lease renewed on the land that it's sitting on because some big conglomerate has bought that land out from up under it. But the good news is they've got a permit to move the entire church to a new location. And everybody's wondering, well, how are we going to move this church? And by the time we get a construction company and this and that, it'll be well after Christmas. And we're trying to put on our Christmas service with the Christmas pageant. And Sandra says, you know what? Lester got a construction company, and that's Mary's husband. They have volunteered Mary's husband's construction company to, at the last minute, move the church so that they'll be able to have Christmas service. So now, Mary's husband is, I guess, glad to do it, but he is not glad to oversee it. So he puts somebody else in charge of this project. Unfortunately, due to some type of miscommunication, the church is missing. As they are trying to scurry about to find the church so that they can have their Christmas service, the Reverend puts out a heartfelt prayer to God, asking for his help in making sure that this Christmas service will go off without a hitch. And that is when Mary came up with the idea, let's just do it outside. It'll be cold, but it'll be just like the nativity scene. It'll be exactly the way Jesus was born. So that's what they do. They find a spot outside. They erect everything that they need for their Christmas pageant, and then they have the Christmas pageant. So this is one of those series that truly acknowledge the real meaning of Christmas while injecting some humor, but they made a point to tell the entire story of Jesus' birth. So they had to improvise. They had to have this outdoor pageant because the church is stolen, but they got the true meaning of Christmas. I bet you're wondering if we ever find out what happened to the church. The answer is no to the no, no. We never find out what happened to the church, but we do find some of these elves on shelves in this episode, and those elves include the Black Santa. Black Santa is Lester. He's playing Santa Claus for the Christmas pageant that his daughter Brenda has written him a special role for. And if you look real close, you might recognize Brenda as Regina King. Yes, that Regina King. She got one of her early roles. This ain't the first role, but this is one of her earliest roles as Brenda on 227. We also see Calvin, who has a crush on Brenda, but Mary is not having any of that. We have a Black Angel as well. Sandra shows up as the Black Angel. Mary called her a fallen angel, which I chuckled about, but she is the black angel. We do not get the Trinity. We do not get the ho, ho, ho. We talk about the fashion. The fashion is 1980s fashion. That's my mama and her girls. And this episode really reminded me of my mom, who I lost my mom the year this series began in 1985. However, seeing these women kind of always put me in the mind of my mother and her friends because the things that would seem like the end of the world to them, like this Christmas pageant, would be just something so trivial to somebody else. All of that reminded me of my mama. We also got the random white person. We got a random white person at the Christmas pageant, and I think that's all we saw from our elves on shelf. So you tell me if you've ever seen 227 Mary's Christmas. That was season 1, episode 13. Drop your thoughts in the comments while you're there. Make sure that you have liked this video. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and I will see you for day 10 tomorrow.
Tasha appears on your timeline, spreading love, feeling so divine. Tune in, don't miss a single drop. Unwrap joy till the beat stops.